Well, it's a very exciting day today. Deep into the initial tax planning season that we have here in June at the firm, as we're pouring in knowledge to our clients to help them make real-time decisions and not have the fear of missing out, to always keep them on the right track. It's not so much of a good day, though, for who writes us here from Tallahassee, Miss Amy W. This is something that I think we can all probably echo, especially as business owners. She writes, Kevin, we are a successful home remodeling company. We've been in business for the past 7 years. Last year, 2025, was the best year we've ever had. We generated about $1 million of net profit, up from $500,000 the year before. Congratulations. We were devastated to find out how much tax we owe, which is almost $300,000. This doesn't seem fair. It doesn't seem right. We're not sure if something has been missed. We understand that we have to pay tax, and the more money we make, the more money we pay. But it just seems discouraging as a business owner, I understand, to continue to pay the government more and more and more. What is the point of any of this? Please help us get out of this depressed rut. Okay, so what you're experiencing right now is what I call PTP. That's post-tax season pain, and it's a real thing, especially when you didn't see it coming. That was your number one problem. It sounds like you're in tune with your business. I mean, you're understanding what your net profits are, so I'm going to assume that your financial statements are correct. Right? That's the biggest thing. If your financial statements are wrong, then your net profit's wrong. If your net profit's wrong, then your tax return's wrong. And if your tax return's wrong, then your tax is wrong, and all of those things. So you got to make sure you have that dialed in. Assuming that's the case, good for you. You're ahead of a lot of folks. The main thing here is don't be discouraged. Instead, be informed. You just sat down to the table and played a game without reading the rules. So the difference where I sit when I write a big check like that to the government, and the difference in where you sit, is that I understand that there's nothing else I could have done. Okay? I'm just as mad as you are at our government wasting our money, but I know that there's nothing else I could have done. In fact, I planned on that. I planned on having written that big check. You didn't. The biggest strategy that you could ever have in tax is awareness. Today, I want you to go out and make as much money as you can. Look at that job that you're about to bid, and for every $100 that's coming in on that job, I want you to think about the prime costs that are associated with it, the subcontractors of the materials. Make that number as small as you can to give the highest quality product to your customer so that you can have the most gross profit. Nail down the middle of that P&L, from advertising to uniforms, to make sure that you're not spending wastefully, that you're spending wisely, and all of those things, if managed properly, gives you a solid net profit. The more money you make in this active income realm of remodeling, of me preparing tax returns and giving advice, the more tax we're going to pay. It's called active income. We're working by the sweat of our brow versus by that little thinker that we've got. I want you to start looking around for real estate. I don't know if you have an office, if you're paying rent, but you're better off paying rent to yourself. Go out, find a commercial property for you to buy in a separate LLC other than your operating company, and I want you to occupy 100% of that. You build it out, your remodeling company has the resources to do that, then you get the self-rental tax deduction. You do a cost segregation analysis because there's common ownership between your operating entity, the tenant, and you, the landlord. You get a massive deduction through that cost segregation analysis, which is a different video for a different day, and that offsets your other income. Whereas typically passive losses are suspended in real estate and they roll forward to future years to offset passive income. In this case, because it's a self-rental, you're going to get a big tax break. You got 200 and something thousand, 300,000 due to the IRS. And guess what? If you're as successful as I believe and I know that you are, you're going to have another big tax bill again. So get ahead and start shifting how you think about money and wealth instead of the sweat of your brow and remodel, to use that remodeling business that you have that's very successful to get you into the realms of real tax advantages, which is real estate. Then in the end, fast forward. Then you sell your remodeling business. You've stepped out of the way. There's no key man risks, so your business is worth a lot more because you're not in the way. And you've got 10 rental properties, commercial real estate. You've sold 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of them, and you've paid no tax at all because you did a 1031 exchange. You save today, by thinking ahead and knowing the rules. The IRS and our government incentivizes people to invest. Here's the bottom line on this whole thing. Congratulations to you. Get ahead this time. You're not going to let the government surprise you again. You know they're coming, and you know you're going to give unto Caesar what is his. But have a strategic advisor that you hire, that you meet with routinely, that understands your financial statements, that understands your tax return, and most importantly, understands what you want. And at the end of the day, what you want is to be able to go to your kids' basketball games, to take them on that Disney cruise, to watch your kids walk down the aisle without worrying about how you're going to pay your tax bill. Be strategic, be smart, know the rules before you play the game. And then you won't have the post-tax pain. Congratulations to you on your business. Now, get more aggressive with planning, and then you won't have to worry about Uncle Sam. And for another slice of tax advice, follow